Hello everyone. If you're receiving this video in form, it is because you've already been trained on the Fountas and Pinnell benchmark assessment system or reading records. I have some exciting news. Our new kits have arrived, and as you may notice, the kits look a little bit different. You can see by the picture up top here that there is a third edition that we purchased for District 64. All the previous kits, which have been collected by the literacy teams at each building, and if they haven't, please get them to your literacy team members, will be converted with new materials, so they also will become the third edition kits. Today's goal is just to familiarize already trained participants with the updates on the reading records in this new edition. With the new kits, we also bought enough to distribute them at a 1 kit per 2 teacher ratio for easier sharing. Because we're going half step backwards to sharing physical kits, we needed to work on a plan where it is more manageable to share the materials in the kits. All teachers will be trained by spring 2018, and that's when all the kits will be in each building. So let's look at what is included in your updated Fountas and Pinnell benchmark assessment system. There's a refined comprehension conversation, which we'll look at more closely in the next few slides. This includes a new rubric to help with comprehension analysis and scoring. There's an updated assessment guide and scoring forms. There's a new continuum of literacy learning. This is the expanded edition, and it is well worth looking at. Now, both kits have pre-K to 8th grade goals and strategies or behaviors to notice and teach. So you can look up goals for whole group instructions or small group instruction based on your student's grade level or their reading level. There's a few updated leveled readers, mostly just minor factual revisions and tweaks. There's some enhanced digital delivery, which include the forms, which I've already downloaded and put in our drive for you, and then new videos for professional development that you might want to look at if you need to brush up your practice. So, as I mentioned, with these updates, I've wrapped them nicely into a Google folder for us. I've already downloaded and put new recording forms in the Google Drive. I also downloaded the comprehension rubric and updated our Fountas and Pinnell cheat sheet. If you forget where these are, if you go to the ELA portal, you'll always find a link to the Fountas and Pinnell reading records, this third edition, under the data and assessment tab. Eventually, I will delete the old Fountas and Pinnell reading records once everyone has the new materials. So let's look at the changes in comprehension conversation, because that's the most significant change. You still have the thinking within the text, beyond the text, and about the text going on during this conversation. But right away you'll notice the biggest change, the first change anyway, is that you are supposed to begin with the first prompt in the conversation. Keep it conversational, but stick closely to the prompts that are written. This will lead to a greater consistency between teachers and students, with fewer opportunities to guide students to the right answer. Then you score each category within, beyond, and about the text on that 3-2-1-0 scale. Generally speaking, the 3 means students demonstrate proficiency in understanding the text. The 2 is students who are approaching proficiency. 1 is limited proficiency, and 0 is not proficient. There is a full rubric, as I mentioned, for you to learn. This will help you in scoring. We'll look at that a little bit more closely on the next slides. And again, this was created to set clearer expectations for each level and increase consistency between teachers and assessment sessions. So let's look at this comprehension score of 3. The first thing you'll notice is that a 3 means the student is proficient in their understanding. Other keywords that you'll read throughout, and I really do get familiar with this level 3, because everything you can work down from there. You see words like most, key, important, consistent, clear, significant, many, and justified. Things of that nature indicate that no direct teaching or prompting is needed for the student to understand this level text. Moving down from there, a comprehension score of 2, you see, is where students are approaching proficiency. Here the keywords become many, most, well organized, often satisfactory, maybe some or even just partially justified, but still approaching the proficiency mark for that comprehension. In this case, some teaching will be needed for the student to understand the text. A comprehension score of 1 is very limited proficiency. You'll see the keywords here like few, some, does not include, limited, 1, or not justified. So very limited proficiency of their understanding. This indicates intensive teaching within each of those categories. That you will find success only if the student's accuracy meets criterion for your reading level and the other 2 comprehension measures total at least 3 points. So perhaps they've earned 2 points within the text and 1 point for beyond the text, and then about the text was a 0. But these 2 other categories totaled 3. So you might do some more intense teaching just in the about the text area. Similarly, when you get down to a comprehension score of 1, you'll see this is where students are really not proficient. Okay, you see they do not communicate, they do not understand, they leave out many details, not, unable, lots of nots in this rubric. Here you will find that teaching is only successful if the student demonstrates high accuracy and a combined comprehension total of at least 4 points or more. Continuing on, you total up your scores for your reader on the comprehension conversation, and you'll see in levels A through K, because you might remember the beyond and about the text are combined at those younger levels, you have a total of 6 total points. 5 to 6 points is proficient, whereas in the L through Z, beyond and about become their own categories, so you have a total of 9 points, so 8 or 9 points would be proficient. And you see the total points working down from there. 4 is approaching in A through K, 6 to 7 is approaching in L through Z, and so on. You'll notice they have dropped that ambiguous extra point. Apparently, we weren't the only ones confused about when or how to award that point to students, so it is no longer part of the rubric. This is just a quick refresher of what the independent instructional or hard levels would work out to be. This is the chart for A through K and L through Z. As a reminder, in the spreadsheets shared by the district's teachers should be putting in instructional levels. So keep that in mind as you plan for instruction. Again, as a reminder, if you're not sure where to start or you're missing students from your district spreadsheet, so you can't look at their spring data, look at the F&P, the Fountas and Pinnell norms here by grade level, or do the optional word list test. Finally, again, the last reminder here is even though fluency isn't considered in finding the instructional, independent, or hard level, it is still important information for you as a teacher to plan instruction. So remember that fluency rubric is available for you, and you can pay attention to students' pausing, phrasing, stress, intonations, rate, and integration in order to plan for their instruction and fluency. One more reminder here, we have Notability available on iPads on your carts. In your classrooms, if you're in K2 classrooms, you should have one iPad with Notability installed on it. And then on the carts, there are also several with this app installed. Reminder that this Notability app is, if you prefer to go paperless, you can download the recording forms and access them through Notability. Take your notes during your running record conference with your students, and then upload that information to your own drive and save it that way. The great part about this is it can be easily shared with other teachers who work with the student. If you need support learning Notability, please let me know, or your ITC is also able to help with that. So, are you ready to get your new